What if every time you pulled a weed from your garden, you were actually throwing away food that's better for you than anything you buy? Most people don't know their own backyard holds nature's best secrets, rich with power. Get ready, because those annoying plants you battle daily are about to become your new favorite superfoods. Your garden is hiding a treasure, and you've been fighting it. Quick favor, if you love backyard free food videos like this, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Number 1, Dandelion. Alright, let's start with the most famous one on the block. You see that bright yellow flower, and you probably think one of two things: make a wish or get the weed killer. But that little plant is a nutritional legend. First, let's make sure you've got the right one. Real dandelions have long, jagged leaves that look a bit like a lion's tooth. That's actually where the name comes from. They have one single flower on a hollow, leafless stem. If the stem is solid or has leaves on it, you've got a lookalike. So, what makes them so special? The greens are absolutely loaded. Just one cup has over 100% of your daily vitamin K, and even more vitamin A than a carrot. They're also packed with iron and calcium. You can eat the entire plant. The young leaves are fantastic in salads. They have a slightly bitter, peppery taste. If they're too bitter for you, just cook them like you would spinach. People also use the roots for a coffee-like drink and the flowers to make tea or even wine. But here's a super important safety tip. Location matters. Never, ever harvest dandelions from a yard that's been treated with chemicals or from the side of a busy road. You're looking for clean, unsprayed plants only. The dandelion is an amazing, easy-to-find superfood. But our next plant is even more of a secret, hiding in plain sight in gardens all over the world. Number 2, Purslane. If you've ever seen a low-growing plant that looks kind of like a tiny jade plant spreading across your garden, that's probably Purslane. It has these thick, fleshy leaves and reddish stems that creep along the ground, forming a dense mat. But don't pull it just yet. This is where it gets amazing. We all hear about eating fish to get our omega-3s for brain health, right? Well, Purslane is one of the most powerful plant-based sources of omega-3s on the entire planet. It has more of these healthy fats than spinach or most other leafy greens you can buy. And it tastes fantastic. The leaves and stems are crisp with a slightly tangy, almost lemony flavor. You can toss them into a salad for a nice crunch, add them to a sandwich, or even blend them into a smoothie for a massive nutrient boost. If you want to cook it, a quick stir fry is perfect. Now, there's a reason this plant is such a successful weed. A single purslane plant can produce over 2 million seeds. And if that wasn't enough, any tiny piece of the stem you leave behind in the soil can regrow into a whole new plant. That's why it's so persistent. It's a true survivor and an incredible food source hiding right under our feet. But while purslane hugs the ground, our next weed is a bit of a social climber you might already know very well. Number 3, chickweed. This delicate-looking plant is a true wanderer. You'll find it forming a lush green carpet in the cooler, shadier parts of your yard, often weaving its way through your other garden plants. At first glance, it seems pretty ordinary with its small, oval leaves that grow in pairs. But look closer. It has tiny, beautiful white flowers that look like little stars. And here's the expert trick to be 100% sure. Check the stem. Chickweed has a single line of fine hairs running down just one side of it. It's a very unique identifier. This little plant is surprisingly delicious. The taste is very mild and refreshing, almost like corn silk or a tender spinach leaf. It's fantastic tossed fresh into salads, layered into a sandwich for a nutrient boost, or blended into a vibrant green pesto. And what a boost it is. Chickweed is packed with minerals, including iron, magnesium, and potassium, making it a genuine superfood. But, and this is incredibly important, you have to be certain you've got the right plant. Its toxic lookalike is a plant called scarlet pimpernel, which looks similar but usually has orange or red flowers. Another lookalike, spurge, will ooze a milky white sap if you break the stem. Chickweed sap is clear, so if the flower isn't a white star, leave it be. This gentle little weed is a perfect example of a powerhouse hiding in plain sight. But while chickweed stays low to the ground, our next plant has a much pricklier personality. Number 4, plantain. And no, before you ask, we are absolutely not talking about the banana's cousin. This is the other plantain, And if any weed has a tough personality, it's this one. You've seen it a million times, stubbornly growing in the cracks of your sidewalk or taking over patches of your lawn. There are two main kinds you'll run into. Broadleaf plantain has wide, oval-shaped leaves that look a bit like spinach, with really obvious veins running straight up them. Then there's narrowleaf, which, you guessed it, has long, skinny leaves. Both grow in a little circle flat against the ground. But here's the amazing part. This humble plant is basically nature's first aid kit. It's famous for being one of the best things you can use on a bug bite, bee sting, or a small scrape. The leaves contain compounds that reduce swelling and fight bacteria. The old school trick is to just chew up a clean leaf and put it right on the bite. It's called a spit poultice, and it can give you almost instant relief from itching and pain. Beyond that, the young tender leaves are totally edible. When they're small, you can toss them into a salad for a boost of calcium and vitamin A. As they get bigger, they get a little stringy, so they're better cooked down like you would with kale or chard. Just be smart about where you pick it. Make sure it's far away from busy roads and areas where pets or pesticides might have been. So this plant is the ultimate survivor and healer. But while plantain is great for your skin, our next weed is one you can actually drink. Number 5. Lambsquarters. This plant is one of the biggest secrets in the world of edible weeds, and it's often called wild spinach for a very good reason. You've probably seen it. It's a fast-growing plant that shoots up in the summer with diamond-shaped leaves that can look like they've been dusted with a fine white powder, especially when they're young. Gardeners tend to hate it because it's so good at taking over. But if you like spinach, you're gonna love this. When the leaves are young and tender, you can eat them raw right in a salad. As they get a little older, you can cook them exactly the same way you would spinach. Steam them, sauté them with a little garlic, or even blend them into a green juice. It's incredibly nutritious and has a mild, delicious flavor. And here's why it's such a successful weed. Lambsquarters is a master of survival. It grows so quickly that it can steal moisture from the plants around it. But the really wild part is that its seeds can stay dormant in the soil for decades, just waiting for their chance to sprout. So this plant isn't just a weed, it's a patient superfood hiding in plain sight. But while Lambsquarters is a gentle giant, our next plant has a much pricklier personality. Don't click off yet. Number 11 has a safety prep step most people skip. And number 15 is one you can eat and help your local ecosystem at the same time. Number 6, stinging nettle. All right, I know what you're thinking. Nettle? The plant that wages war on your ankles every time you walk by? It's famous for that nasty burning rash it leaves behind, and for a good reason. Its leaves and stem are covered in tiny hollow hairs that act like microscopic needles, injecting your skin with a cocktail of irritants. So, why would anyone in their right mind get near it, let alone eat it? Because if you know the secret, this painful plant transforms into an incredible superfood. The magic trick is simple. Heat. The second you blanch, steam, or sauté stinging nettle, that entire stinging mechanism is completely neutralized. The heat breaks down the irritants, and those prickly hairs go limp. Just like that, it's 100% safe to eat. Even just drying the leaves for tea does the trick. And what you're left with is a nutritional powerhouse. Nettle is absolutely packed with vitamins A and C, and it's one of the best plant-based sources of iron and calcium you can find. It even has a surprising amount of protein. So, how do you use it? Just wear gloves when you pick it. Then you can toss the young leaves into a soup for a deep, earthy flavor, or sauté them with garlic just like spinach. It has a delicious, rich taste that's all its own. This plant is the perfect example of not judging a weed by its cover. Now, we've just seen how heat can unlock a plant's hidden potential. But our next weed is one you definitely don't want to cook, because its real magic is best used fresh. Number 7, wood sorrel. You've definitely seen this one before, and you probably mistook it for clover. It pops up all over lawns and garden beds. But if you look closely, you'll notice a key difference. Instead of oval leaflets, its leaves are shaped like perfect little hearts. And here's where the fun begins. If you're sure you've got the right plant, pick a leaf and chew it. You get an instant surprising burst of bright, zesty lemon. It's tart, it's tangy, and it's completely delicious. That unmistakable flavor is your best signal that you found wood sorrel. That lemony kick comes from its incredibly high vitamin C content. In fact, ounce for ounce, wood sorrel can pack more vitamin C than a fresh orange, making it a tiny nutritional powerhouse. This is why you always want to use it fresh. Cooking it would just ruin that bright flavor. It's amazing tossed into salads, giving you a natural citrus dressing without any squeezing. You can also sprinkle the leaves and its little yellow flowers over fish or chicken as a beautiful garnish, or muddle them in a glass of water for a refreshing drink. Now, there is one thing to keep in mind. That tartness comes from oxalic acid, the same stuff found in spinach and rhubarb. It means you should enjoy it in moderation. A handful is fantastic, but don't try to eat an entire giant bowl of it, especially if you have kidney issues. So wood sorrel gives us a delicate, zesty flavor. But what if you're looking for something a bit more substantial? Our next weed isn't just a garnish, it's a meal in itself. Number 8, clover. You see this one everywhere, dotting lawns with its iconic 3 leaves. But what most people see as a simple ground cover is actually a powerhouse of nutrition, and a surprisingly substantial meal hiding in plain sight. Clover is famously high in protein. That's why it's been a critical survival food for centuries and why farmers use it to feed livestock. Both the common white and red clover are edible, and their leaves can give you a serious nutritional boost. The best way to enjoy them is to pick the young, tender leaves and toss them into a salad. The flowers are edible too, especially the reddish-purple ones, and they have a lovely, slightly sweet flavor. But the real magic happens when you dry the blossoms to make tea. Red clover tea is an ancient remedy that's packed with unique plant compounds called isoflavones. People have used it for generations to help with everything from skin health to balancing hormones during menopause. There is one important safety rule, though. You should always enjoy clover in moderation. In large amounts, it contains compounds that can act as blood thinners. So, a handful is great, but don't try to make it your only food source. So, clover transforms your lawn into a free, protein-packed pantry. But while clover is soft and gentle, our next plant is a tough-as-nails survivor you've definitely battled before. Number 9, wild violet. If you've ever fought for a perfect uniform lawn, you know this plant all too well. Wild violets are incredibly stubborn. Their heart-shaped leaves and little purple flowers might look pretty, but they spread like crazy and feel almost impossible to get rid of. But here's the secret. This tough little plant is a nutritional powerhouse. The leaves are absolutely loaded with vitamins. In fact, gram for gram, wild violet leaves contain more vitamin C than oranges and more vitamin A than spinach. It's basically a free superfood taking over your yard. And the best part? You can eat both the leaves and the flowers. The young, tender leaves have a mild flavor and are a fantastic addition to salads. The flowers are even more fun. You can toss them into a salad for a beautiful pop of color, freeze them in ice cubes for fancy drinks, or even make a stunningly vibrant violet syrup. There is one important safety note though. Make sure you're picking true wild violets, not the fuzzy African violets people keep as houseplants. Also, watch out for a toxic lookalike called lesser celandine. It has similar leaves, but its flowers are bright yellow. If the flower isn't purple, blue, or white, it's not a violet. So this stubborn little survivor is actually a delicate vitamin-packed treat. But while violets are known for their dainty flowers, our next plant is famous for its incredibly deep roots and a surprisingly sweet secret hiding inside. Number 10, burdock. If you've ever walked through a field and come out with prickly, clingy burrs stuck all over your clothes, you can thank this plant. Burdock is a big leafy giant, often mistaken for rhubarb from a distance, famous for those annoying seeds that inspired the invention of Velcro. But the real treasure isn't above ground, it's the root. You have to be willing to work for it though. A burdock taproot can grow several feet deep, and you need a good shovel and some patience to get it out. So, why bother? Because that root is an incredible food source. It's a staple in Japanese cooking, where they call it gobo. It has a unique, earthy flavor that's slightly sweet, kind of like a cross between an artichoke heart and a parsnip. It's also packed with a special kind of fiber that's amazing for your digestion by feeding all the good bacteria in your gut. To cook it, you just peel the tough outer skin, and then you can roast it, fry it, or toss it into soups and stews. The key is to harvest it from a first-year plant. one that's just a clump of leaves on the ground. Once it sends up that tall flower stalk in its second year, the root gets too woody to eat. So burdock gives us this amazing earthy root from deep in the ground. But our next plant is all about what's happening up top, with tiny seeds that pack an explosive peppery punch you won't forget. If you know someone who's always fighting their lawn, send this to them, because half of this stuff is basically free groceries. Number 11, curly dock. You've probably seen this one growing in fields or along the edges of your yard. It has long, spear-shaped leaves with very distinct wavy, crinkled edges. That's exactly how it gets the name curly dock. When it's young, this plant is a nutritional powerhouse. The leaves are absolutely loaded with vitamin A and iron, making it one of the best wild greens you can find anywhere, and it's completely free. But there's a huge warning that comes with this one. You cannot just pick and eat it raw. Curly dock has high levels of something called oxalic acid, the exact same stuff that makes rhubarb leaves toxic. So you have to take this seriously. Luckily, making it safe to eat is simple. You just have to boil the young leaves. The trick is, you need to boil them, dump that water out, and then boil them again in fresh water. This process pulls the harmful acid out of the leaves, leaving you with a safe, delicious green. Once that's done, you can use it just like spinach. It's fantastic when it's sautéed with a little bit of garlic. Just remember to only harvest the young, tender leaves. The older ones get way too bitter to eat, no matter how you cook them. So, with curly dock, a little prep work is the key to unlocking a safe meal, but our next plant is the complete opposite. It's one you don't want to cook at all, because its incredible bright flavor is best when it's completely raw. Number 12, shepherd's purse. This is one you can spot instantly once you know what you're looking for. It has a little circle of leaves at the base, but what gives it away are the tall, thin stalks with tiny heart-shaped seed pods climbing all the way up. They honestly look like little purses from an old-timey dollhouse, which is exactly how it got its name. And those little pods are an incredible raw snack. They have this surprisingly bright, peppery flavor, almost like horseradish or mustard. You can just pick them and sprinkle them right onto a salad or a sandwich for an amazing spicy kick. The young leaves are edible too, and taste a lot like cabbage. And that potent ability is exactly why you have to be extremely cautious. Because it affects blood clotting, anyone on blood thinners or who has a history of clotting disorders must avoid this plant completely. It's a powerful reminder that just because something is natural, it doesn't mean it's safe for everyone. So, shepherd's purse is all about what you can see above the ground, the leaves and seeds. But our next plant hides its most valuable secret completely out of sight, deep down in the soil. Number 13, mallow. You've probably walked past this one 1,000 times, with its round, slightly fuzzy leaves and small, delicate pinkish flowers. But its most powerful secret is hidden right under your feet, deep in the root. If you were to dig it up, you'd find the root is full of a slippery gel-like substance. The scientific name is mucilage, but you can just think of it as nature's perfect thickening agent. For centuries, people have used mallow root to give soups and stews a rich, hearty texture, long before cornstarch was ever invented. And this soothing quality doesn't just work on food. It was a classic herbal remedy for calming sore throats and soothing an upset stomach. Besides the root, the entire plant is a fantastic food source. The young leaves are incredibly mild and can be used exactly like spinach. And the little green seed pods, which look like tiny wheels of cheese, are a fun, nutty-tasting snack you can eat right off the plant. Number 14, yarrow. This plant is a legend, and I mean that literally. For thousands of years, it was known by another name, the military herb. You can spot it by its incredibly unique, feathery leaves that look almost like tiny ferns. It grows a tall, tough stalk, topped with flat clusters of small, delicate white flowers. But its reputation is anything but delicate. The story goes that the Greek hero Achilles used it on the battlefield to treat his soldiers' wounds, which is where it gets its scientific name, Achillea. And that wasn't just a myth. For centuries, soldiers actually carried dried yarrow with them to pack into wounds, because it has natural compounds that help stop bleeding fast. It was the original first aid kit, growing right out of the ground. But this is one plant where you need to be 110% certain of your identification. Its flowers can look dangerously similar to poison hemlock, which is one of the most toxic plants in North America. Never ever use a plant unless you are absolutely sure what it is. Number 15, garlic mustard. This last one isn't just a weed, it's an invasive powerhouse that ecologists are practically begging you to eat. You can spot it by its heart-shaped leaves near the ground and taller stalks with clusters of small white flowers. But the real giveaway? Crush a leaf. If it smells like a faint mix of garlic and onion, you've found it. Here's the thing about garlic mustard. It's an ecological bully. It spreads like wildfire through forests, choking out native plants. It doesn't just crowd them out. It releases chemicals from its roots that poison the soil, stopping other plants from growing nearby. It basically creates its own dead zones. This is where you become the hero of the story. Every plant you pull and take home is a win for your local ecosystem. And your reward? A delicious peppery green with a fantastic garlic kick. It's amazing in pesto, salads, or wilted like spinach. It's also loaded with nutrients, packed with vitamin C and a ton of vitamin A. And before you go, if this video changed how you look at your yard, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one.